It never ceases to amaze me the distance that PNM would go to make sure that their voter base remains locked in the madness that they have put them in. The dependency syndrome that the PNM has created has led their voters to be easily manipulated. And here it is, just because the United National Congress wants to audit CPEP, they want to root out the corruption that would have been left in the organization for over 9 years. The PNM is running their Chicken Little campaign. Because that is what it is, eh? It's a Chicken Little campaign. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. The United National Congress is sending 10,000 workers home. You all will be on the breadline. But at the end of the day, everybody knows Trinidad and Tobago can't run without CPEP. CPEP works way harder than even the URP. So we all know these people, they're going to get their jobs back. But at the same time, the United National Congress has to clean out everything with a fine-tooth comb. They have to go through. It's been 9 years. PNM has put their people in all state organizations and enterprises. So it's only right that the UNC sifts out whatever bad eggs are there. But you see, the thing that I can't stand with the PNM is how they just try to throw stones and hide their hands. It's the hypocrisy that the party has in it, which is what does annoy me the most. But you see, let me take a look at it. Because like I say, where it's been 9 years and they want to hide their receipts, I just hold on to it. So here it is. It would have been in 2011 when Munilal decided that he was going to take PNM to task for the CPEP, right? He wanted to root out the corruption in it. And this is basically the article on how it went. Nepotism and unlawful activity are to be blamed for the termination of 47 community-based environment protection and enhancement program, CPEP contractors. Defending the decision to dismiss the contractors, Minister, right, of Environment, Dr. Munilal, said for too long, CPEP was allowed to operate without transparency and accountability. Responding in Parliament to Laventille East Mova MP Donna Cox that the government re-engaged on its commitment regarding the program and sending more than 2,500 people home. Now, I want to stick a pin on that number because it was only 2,500 people at that time Munilal wanted to send home. On the breadline, Munilal said many of the council members got CPEP contracts and many of the contractors was also involved in crime and some of them were even friends and family, right? He said, imagine even the general council member got a CPEP contract, and not one, a few. When the program was launched in Moruga, it was designed for 3 years. It was never agreed for contractors to be employed for over 8 years. Some areas in TNT do not even know what CPEP shirt looks like. And you all could pause to read the rest of the article if you want. But you see, the point Mr. Munilal was making is that it was never meant to have people sitting and liming in the organization that long. Because it was a lime. It was a eat a food lime. So what he decided to do was root out the bad eggs inside of CPEP and clean up the thing because they were now in government. PNM was highly against it. But this is where the hypocrisy starts. This is where the PNM throwing stones and hiding their hands start. Because all over the internet and all over social media, the PNM is peddling this as the United National Congress has a history of always sending home workers and that the PNM has never done it at all. They have never gone near that with a 100-feet pole. But like I say, receipts don't lie. So here it is, you all, in 2016, Munilal was now where? In opposition. And Munilal brought the same thing to Parliament because guess what? The PNM now, the holier than thou PNM, that is now stating that they never sent nobody home, right, was doing the same thing. Now remember, Munilal wanted to put 2,500 people on the breadline. Listen, this is what happened here. Former Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Munilal, is condemning what he claims is the government decision to dismiss contractors employed by the Community-Based Environmental Protection and Enhancement Program, CPEP. In a statement yesterday, Munilal said dismissing contractors during the July-August, which would have been the same thing that the PNM had a problem with, and which is the same thing that the PNM currently have a problem with, right? Dismissing contractors during the July-August vacation period would put an extra strain on their employees who were preparing for the new school term next month. He also said, right, that he expected more flooding as a result and strongly condemned the plan to move, right, arbitrary dismissed contractors and almost 12,000 workers, right, from the CPEP Company Limited, right? So I want you all to understand this. This is not the UNC doing this here, you know. This is the PNM, the so-called PNM, who can do no wrong. The so-called PNM who said they never put people on the breadline. The so-called PNM who says that UNC has a history of doing it. This is the PNM doing this now. And Munilal is condemning it. Munilal was going to put 2,500 on the breadline to clean it up. Here we have, right, in 2016, PNM was going and put 12,000 people on the breadline under the same guys cleaning up corruption in CPEP. Fast forward now to 2025, where Munilal and the UNC team, right, and everybody in government wants to clean up CPEP now. And because they want to clean up CPEP now, they sent home all the contractors. And the PNM now is peddling the Chicken Little effect. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. 10,000 people on the breadline just before school closes. How they going to buy books? How they going to feed the children? Oh my God, the sky is falling. But these people are going to get back their jobs. And the contractors are going to come back. Not all, but some are going to come back. And some might be new. Some might be faces you might recognize. But it's called cleaning up corruption. But you see, the thing too about this that the PNM isn't explaining, because I and all was trying to figure out, what are these contractors' rules, really? Because I was curious about it. And I started to do some digging. So let's just say the average contractor makes about 20K a month. That's how much the average contractor makes on it, right? Now, a lot of you all are of the opinion that the contractors is who does play the employees. But you're wrong. The contractors aren't who pay CPEP employees. The state still pays CPEP employees. It's not the contractors. The contractors' jobs is to provide the workforce. Because if the contractors aren't even supplying the tools in some cases, because if you look at what the UNC put out the other day, they said that all contracts for contractors are terminated and they have a certain amount of hours to return all equipment and tools to the state reference to CPEP. So it's not even a case where contractors are even providing all the tool. But let me do a little maths here. Quick maths. So if it is that, let's just say each contractor, right? Let's just say 300 contractors, because that is what they say, right? 300 contractors at 20K per month, right? That is 6 million per month, right? 20K, that is 6 million per month, right? That is 72 million per year. Always sit down and think about that, eh? 20,000 per month as a possible contractor salary works out to 6 million a month, which is 72 million a year as a finder's fee. Because that's what it is. It's a finder's fee. Your job is to find the employees and get them to come to work every day. They are being paid 20 grand as a finder's fee to supervise. And it is costing the state and the taxpayers $72 million a year. To the point where certain calypso singers could drive a CPEP van down a highway and cost people on the road.
Go on the phone again. In my phone. Yeah, go on your phone. It's against the law. It's against the law to drive and be on your phone. You fool. You fool. Yeah, man. Why? Damn God for CPEP driving a car. Don't mash up the people, man. I drive in a 350 Mercedes Benz. I spoke up. Yeah, small car. Yeah.
Because he's singing calypso on behalf of the PNM. How he a contract? Certain radio hosts, right? Preaching the gospel at the PNM. 2 and 3 CPEP contract. How? Then let's not talk about the community leaders, the gang leaders. How them are CPEP contracts? You see, the reality of this remains. CPEP has always been a political tool. And it doesn't matter which government is there, it's always been a political tool. But it has been a political tool that has been weaponized heavily by the PNM. The PNM uses CPEP just like they use the HGC housing system to control the narrative of their voter base. That is why leading up to the general election, CPEP workers were being threatened and extorted by PNM contractors if they did not vote for the PNM. And you all would have seen evidence to that in a video that I did before, where I let you all hear the voice notes of conversations and the written letters of conversations between contractors and PNM voters. So here it is. Now we in 2025. And the PNM is just as guilty of doing the same thing, but they're trying to hide their hands. They're trying to make it look like we don't do nothing wrong. This is all the UNC. The UNC don't care about all you. They want to put all you on the breadline. But the PNM is just as guilty of doing it. The PNM uses CPEP to prey on their voter base dependency syndrome on the government. Because they are so highly dependent on CPEP and other platforms that the government would have created, this is how PNM is able to control and manipulate their voters. And what the UNC is trying to do is go in there and weed out all the corruption and the corruptive elements that make up CPEP right now that the PNM would have left in there for the last 9 years. You can't have those people in an organization because they could undermine everything that the UNC is now trying to course correct. They can carry news, they could mash up equipment, they could destabilize an entity. If I know that I don't want a new government to clean out the corruption that is there, what would I do? Not leave agents that could try to throw a spoke in the wheel at every turn? Well, this is what is happening here now. And this is what the United National Congress is trying to prevent. And the PNM is hell-bent on trying to stop it. So what they are doing is running a propaganda narrative that the sky is falling, that the PNM cares about you. They've even gone now and say they're going to hire attorneys, legal team, because the hotline works so well. Dial a PNM and we go fix for you. And when you ring the hotline wasn't even active. Because I know, because I call it several times, the hotline wasn't even active. Dial a PNM, we'll come to save you. No, they're going and pull out the lawyers. Lawyers assemble. You swear it's the Avengers.
PNM is currently assembling a team of senior attorneys, lawyers, to defend all of the contractors that have been, as well as the 10,000 employees who are employed within the organization and the program. We're assembling a team of attorneys to offer free legal representation to all of the contractors and all of the employees to ensure that the government is stopped dead in their tracks from proceeding with this very wicked and what we believe illegal act. It will be a class action type of lawsuit, but of course we cannot go into any details with respect to the strategy. But the attorneys are looking at all of the legal avenues that are available.
And this is consistent with a certain pattern of behavior of the UNC government, whether it be the WASA CEO, WASA senior management, the governor of the central bank, several workers in the land settlement agency, and our information, they're also going for the URP workers as well as the reforestation workers. So this is consistent. This is not unusual. This is expected, but the bottom line is that we have had a meeting this morning, and in opposition, the government would have been there during the time that these contracts were issued. Our position is we will do what is necessary in order to protect the interests of the contractors as well as the interests of the workers.
The pieces of action will include every range possible. Class action is not the only intended action. There'll be individual actions. There's high court, there's industrial court, there's public law, there's constitutional law. No stone will be left unturned.
But then, given the track record of the PNM and how many cases we would have lost and cost taxpayers dollars, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose this one also. But hey, go ahead and play with taxpayers' money. At least this time, we have a responsible government at the helm of the ship, and they're going to course correct all the corruption that the PNM did in the last 9 years. So, if you happen to reach this distance in the video, I've seen a lot of y'all watching, but y'all ain't subscribe. Please go hit the subscribe button. It helps YouTube know that I existed and all they want to see more of me. And most importantly, all you know we just do it. Let we have a conversation in the comment section. Keep it clean, keep it respectful. Let me hear what all you think. Do you all think that it is wrong what the United National Congress is doing right now, trying to root out the corruption that the PNM is left there? Do you think that CPEP workers should now be given a permanent status instead of a contract renewal monthly basis status for workers? What would you all like to see CPEP evolve to? Let me hear down in the comment section, and most importantly, make a better version of yourself every day, people. I out.